I'm Zachary Bloomgarden, clinical professor of medicine in the Division of Endocrinology at Mount Sinai School of Medicine. So I would say that the Indian pharmaceutical industry is clearly very important, but maybe it's not quite up to the level of the U.S. pharmaceutical development industry. And while we tend to knock American pharma companies, they actually do a marvelous job in these extremely complicated registration studies where they deliver the goods and help us to learn whether a drug is or is not effective and what are the side effects. So it sounds to me as though the study that was done in India may just have fallen through the cracks. Now, another difficulty is that, as I understand it, it was the type 1 study which didn't fly in India. Type 1 diabetes may be rather uncommon in India, and so it may be that they had to use many, many more sites, and each site perhaps only had 1 or 2 or perhaps 3 patients. And so if you have 50 sites, each with 1 or 2 patients, it's going to be tremendously harder to do a good quality study than if you have, let's say, 5 sites, each with 20 or 30 patients. And so they may have simply tried to do it in a part of the world where the patient population was very difficult to recruit. So 24 patients withdrew from the Biodel study because of injection site pain, not 24%. But there were approximately 200 patients in the type 2 study and 130 patients in the type 1 study. So let's say a total of 300 some, of whom 24 withdrew. That means that they had very serious pain in somewhere on the order of 7% of patients. Because, as you know, people who participate in clinical trials with a trial coordinator working with them are relatively unlikely to withdraw because of something like an injection site reaction unless it's relatively severe. So we need a lot more information about the severity of that injection site pain, how long it lasts. Now, Lantus, insulin glargine, is in its basal state kept at an acidic pH, and then when it's injected into the body, it does cause a very mild burning sensation. And I've actually, in hundreds of patients, never had anyone stop using Lantus because of discomfort. So, yes, insulin may cause some local discomfort, but this seems as though it's possibly a little bit more serious. It absolutely would be wonderful if VIAject were associated with weight loss. But the big issue for me is whether VIAject is going to be particularly different from the rapid-acting insulin analogs that we currently use, which are Humalog, insulin Lispro, Novolog, insulin Aspart, and Apidra, which is insulin glulisine. So all of those insulins cause less hypoglycemia than regular insulin. There really haven't been that many studies looking at weight gain with the rapid-acting insulins as opposed to regular insulin. So it's entirely possible that VIAject is better, but what I really would be interested in is head-to-head studies of VIAject compared with one of the rapid-acting analogs to see whether there's truly a difference. If VIAject causes less hypoglycemia, then patients have to eat less to protect themselves against hypoglycemia, and therefore they would be expected to not gain as much weight. And that, of course, is also true with the rapid-acting analogs. So I'm very interested in it, but I don't know that at this point we can say that it's overwhelmingly wonderful.